Esqueci de ligar o som de novo. Pessoal, bom dia. Sejam muito bem-vindos a mais um D30 aqui no Dev Pleno. Eu sou Túlio Faria e 30 minutos por dia a gente está treinando um tópico de programação ou estudando alguma coisa de programação juntos ou criando alguma coisa, tá? Exatamente nesse momento aqui, tá? A gente está fazendo alguns D30s, né? Alguns episódios aqui, a gente está fazendo em inglês, tá? Então, a gente está fazendo um pouquinho diferente para mostrar para vocês como que a gente poderia fazer para estruturar esse projeto open source e compartilhar com mais pessoas no mundo inteiro. Então, a gente está fazendo esse mix, tá? Então, dos 5 D30s que a gente tem na semana, 3 estão em português e 2 estão em inglês. Muita gente perguntou ontem até quando que a gente ia fazer esse formato, tá? Não sei dizer, tá? Então a gente vai fazer alguns aqui para ver como que vai ficar e etc. E depois a gente vai compartilhando com vocês como que foi o resultado, se foi legal, e aí a gente vai decidindo juntos aí o que fazer e como dar o próximo passo. Fala, Felipe, beleza? Bom dia. Tá, pessoal? Então assim, até quando a gente vai fazer? Não sei, mas vai ser bem bacana. Recados importantes. A partir de semana que vem, a gente já começa a colocar a mão na massa, tá? Então vocês já vão ver a gente botando a mão na massa aqui no SAS, tá? Então vocês vão me ver aí trabalhando já no código-fonte dele, então a gente vai começar a organizar e etc. Então a gente tem aí um objetivo no fim de semana de já limpar de vez o código-fonte para a gente conseguir trazer ele sem secret nenhum, sem nada dentro do código-fonte dele, então a gente já consegue publicar. Pessoal, maravilha! Então a gente vai começar em inglês, vou compartilhar minha tela, vai ser bem bacana aqui. Só um outro recado, como eu disse ontem, por mais que eu tente fazer aqui 30 minutos, como em inglês ainda eu não consigo ter esse timing tão perfeito, pode ser que fique curto, pode ser que fique longo, tá? Então eu não sei como vai ser, tá? Então espero a compreensão de vocês aí. Certo, pessoal? Então agora a gente vai migrar para inglês aqui e a gente volta no final para fazer o encerramento em português, beleza? Hello everyone, welcome to another video here about Learn49. We are releasing our SaaS, or Software as a Service, as an open source software, or SS, or OSS. So the idea here is to share some ideas about the software, share some architectural design or some decisions that we are making since the beginning of the project. So how we are structuring, how we are designing, organizing, and etc. And today we are going to bring more about those points. So we are going to share a little bit how we are planning to organize the project, how we are going to plan to release the source code, and we are going to walk through the things that we already have set. So how the GitHub repo is organized and etc. So it's going to be really nice. I'm going to switch to my screen now because I forgot. So here we have some drawings in order to try to explain a little bit more or better how we are going to structure. So the first thing that's important, we are going to have Learn49/Learn49. So what this means, if we go to GitHub and open Learn49/Learn49, this is going to be our main repository. So we already have some files here. So we started the docs already. So this is the place where all the things are going to be placed. So all the packages, all the apps, all the templates, all the docs, and etc. So everything that progress together, so it's versioned together, it's going to be placed here. So it's going to be a nice thing to know that everything that is tight coupled or tightly coupled on the perspective of the versionating of it, it's going to be placed here. So this is a good thing to know. Another thing that's important, we have another repo for the website, so like this. And we have already, so this one is based on Remix. So one of the things that it's nice about breaking down the project into smaller parts, and the idea of having Learn49 is this. So we can use different technologies, different stacks for each part. So for example, for the backend, we are going to use Nest.js with TypeScript, GraphQL. And for the front ends, we are going to use, we can use, in fact, a lot of different stacks in order to do this. So, for example, for the website, we can use Remix. For the front ends, we can use React with Create React App, or Vite, or Next.js. So we can plug any stack that we want. So this is going to be really amazing. And another thing that's important, so for example, for the website, why we are using now and we start using Remix? Because it loads fast. So if we try to get the score from Lighthouse, for example, it's load really, really fast. So it's a nice thing to have. So for the website, so a way of loading fast and not shipping a lot of assets to the user. So this is something that is really nice about Remix. So we are going to walk through this more during the process of this project. But here is how we have today our organization here on GitHub. This repo here called Aura, it's going to be moved to Learn49. So we are going to have everything inside the monorepo, and the only project that's going to live outside of the monorepo is the website. So let's just go back here to Figma. So here's the idea. So we are going to have some backend projects. So we have /apps/learn49 -API. So is where we are going to place everything related to the API. So mostly the project itself and a Docker file, so you can spin up a new service or a new server running the API. So the goal here is to have something like this. Let me just share here, Razura, Heroku. So the goal here is to have something like this, where we can spin up a new server simple like this. So we can have just a button or a one-click deployment where we can set the API. So this is our goal here. So if you are willing to contribute somehow, this is one of the things that you can do. So how we can set up a new installation of Learn49 API without any hassle. So just clicking a button, authing and etc., and you are good to go. So this is the idea. So for the backend, so this is going to be the nicest thing that we can have here. So how we can deploy with just one button, and we have other options. So like using Docker, like this in Hasura, Kubernetes, DigitalOcean, we have one-click deployment as well. So the idea is to have the same thing here. So the idea is to have the same experience like this from Hasura. So it's an easy way of deploying or having a deployment of the backend. Another thing that's going to progress together with the API is the docs. So we need to keep updating how the data or how the code is structured, how the protocol works, so how we are going to share data, get data, so how the queries are shaped, how the mutations are shaped. So this is something that it's really nice to have and think about. So that's why we have this here together with the backend. So the API and the docs, so they need to progress together, because if we are adding support for something in the API, we need to document this better. Just to give an idea of the kind of thing that we can have here, we are finishing a feature that is really, really nice. So for some entities, we are going to be able to add a custom field. So for example, for courses, for example, if I want to have a cover image and a brand image or something like this, we can add this in a flexible way. So we can have custom fields per entity. And we have an easy way of getting this from the front end. So you don't need to change the API in order to add custom fields. So it makes the API really flexible, because we can have this. So we can add, for example, description, a summary of the course or something like this. And we have this for different entities like course, lessons, and modules. So we can create things in order to add more information about that entity. So the idea is, for example, if you are creating a catalog of courses or a catalog of the modules that your course has, we can use different images, we can use different ways of shaping this data. So for example, if you need a shape for using as a mask, so we can create this as a custom field, we can upload an image there, and everything is going to work nicely. So this is something that we are releasing soon. So in order to have this working, we need to have the API, and we have to document this in a good way, so we can use this on the other front ends that we have here. Another thing that we have some front end packages and apps as well. So the first one that we are going to have, it's apps/Aura. Aura is it's one of the front ends that we have. So it's a way of shaping the front end in order to consume a course. So for example, if you are a creative or a self-made entrepreneur and sell courses and etc., and you want to start from scratch having Learn49 installation working for you, you can start from the Aura. So Aura is going to be the base or the basic, or covering the basics of the front end. So you can either just deploy Aura directly to your account, like in Vercel or other provider, and you are good to go. So you can just do some tweaks on the interface, and you are good to go. So the Aura is going to be the main front end. And one of the things that it's nice, these arrows here doesn't mean anything besides a relation. So just Aura is using another package. Let me just do something here to be created. So what's the idea here? Aura uses package/Aura data. So Aura data is just a way of having some data utilities in order to consume data from the API. So for example, some shared queries, some shared mutations, some shared hooks for React. So we can have hooks for getting the data, for auth or authentication. So this is just somehow, or an idea here to have data shared among the API and the front end. And we have like a contract between them. So we know that all the other front ends can consume data from our data. And we have this interface in order to make sure that we are not breaking anything, or at least that we can anticipate breaking changes when we do something on the API. So this is at least something that we want to have, because it's a good thing. So to be created yet, because we don't have, so it's an important thing. And another one, it's package/Aura UI. So another package that we are going to have just for dealing with some shared UI elements. So an input, a form, a card, a course preview, video player, and things like this. So we can reuse then inside Aura. So we can create the basic elements here and share this among the other front ends, or even we can add this inside Aura. So it's a good thing as well. And the idea here, and here we have an example that is nice. What is the idea of having Aura data? So we have this single point of data consumption. So we have a way of consuming data from the API. And it's nice because we can create this dependency with the interface itself. So if anything changes inside the API, it's going to be easier to know that we need to fix our data somehow, and this is going to raise errors or alerts or warnings inside the projects that depends on this in order to be able to fix this missing data points and etc. So this is going to be really nice. So controlling this is going to be really nice. And here we have other examples. So for example, inside the same repo, one of the goals is to have an examples directory where we can have different front ends derived from the Aura, for example. So we have the official one, and we have a lot of examples that we can deploy, for example, to Vercel or Netlify and etc. in a easy way. So for example, if I want to have a learning experience that looks like a Netflix, so we can have a catalog of courses and etc., different UI anyway, so we can create this kind of thing. So we can have this inside examples / learn Netflix, and we can have other variations of it. So we can have one for Next.js, and we can have another one for Remix. So from where we are getting inspiration from this, if we check, for example, Vercel Next.js. So if we have, for example, like this, Next.js has a lot of examples. So this is really nice. So if you are willing to learn something from Next, this is a good thing, or this is the place we can look for things in Next. So we can have, so with Playwright, with polyfills, with portals, prefetching, portals, server-side handred. So there's a lot of things. React GA, like Google Analytics, internationalization, and things like this. So we can have this kind of things. So delivering different experiences or keeping these examples along with the source code. So anyone that wants to deploy or learn more about how to create custom experiences have good references to base your learning. So this is really nice. So the idea is to have these examples like the examples that we have inside Next.js. So this is the way we are planning to organize the project. And one of the things it's nice, I'm going to design or define this just for the first version. For the subsequent ones, we are going to have discussions over this, so we can have RFCs for the way we are shaping the project. So that RFCs is like request for comments, so we can have issues inside the GitHub repository that gets this for comments. So okay, let's change the way we are getting the code here. If we need to make any change and etc., we can open a request for comments about this, so we can discuss over this, so we can improve this together. So it's going to be a really nice thing. Another thing that we already have, and it's a good starting point, so we already have some documentations or docs created. So we started here Doxaurus installation. So this is the code that we have here, so like the docs. And yeah, so this is the documentation website that we have, and we already have it deployed to Vercel. So here we have this docs blush something, but we do already have a docs.learn49.com. So we already have this deployed. So the idea is to keep pushing some changes to the documentation, to the website, and to the API starting next week. So it's going to be really, really nice. but we already have the domains, we already have ideas here in order to start using Learn49. Another thing that's important, we have already registered 3 domains for the project. So we have .com, we have .me, and we have another one that I forgot. If I'm not mistaken, it's like .net or .org, I don't remember. But probably we are going to keep registering more domains in order to have different proposals domains. So for example, like me, we can use just for deploying different templates, for example. So it's going to be a nice thing. So we can play around with this in order to have a good experience using this. So this is the first idea here of how we are going to organize the code, place everything inside the monorepo. We are going to use turbo repo, so we can have these internal dependencies resolved faster because of turbo repo. So we can use, for example, Aura can use our UI with reduced amount of time to use this. We can do the same for Aura data, so I can use or can consume from Aura or use the Aura data without that need of building, reloading, linking, and etc. So we can spin up everything together in an easier way. So turbo repo here, it's going to be a really good choice because we can do this. So we can make everything and develop this locally faster. So this is going to be really nice. And that's it. So we have this in place. I'm going just to take 5 more minutes to share one thing. So just to give a little perspective of the entities that we have inside Learn49. Here's the entities that we are storing inside Learn49. So we have tenants or accounts. So this is one of the entities that we have for Learn49. This is a good thing because we can have tenants or accounts like different business. So this is the way I designed it, to have it like different companies using or different individuals using. But taking the direction of open sourcing this, the API can house different scenarios. So for example, if you are in a big company and you have different regions or departments and etc., you can use tenants as a department. So, but tenants is a way of splitting your data into a tenant. So everything else is going to be splitted by account. So users and all the things that we have here, like courses, versions, models, and lessons. So this is really a good thing because we can split this together. So this branch here, it's organized per tenant. So you can have different ways of organizing your code or organizing your data or your learning structure. Another thing that's important, we have courses. So courses is just a way of organizing our content. Usually we define courses as the goal that we are going to ship to your students. So how we are going to ship this to the students. And another thing that we created in order to solve a problem that I faced, courses has versions. So if you are running a course business for more than a year, probably you are going to need to update your course. And one of the pains that I faced, it's really hard to keep different versions of the same course. So my course right now is like 5 years old. So more or less, so the first course that I released, it was released in 2017. So it's almost 5 years already. So we have different versions. So the first one was a React course. So React changed a lot. So how we are going to progress or upgrade the course? keeping the things that are relevant yet or needs to be in the course yet in a organized manner, so in an organized way. So this is how we did. So courses have different versions, and versions have one thing that is really nice, that it's modules and lessons, they can have different versions as well. So we have the version that is the name of this organization that we are creating on the content, and for each module that we have, so for example, this course has a new version, I can have this module based on a previous module. So this is something really nice because we don't need to recreate this model, so we can just reuse. For a student perspective, it's a nice thing because if the student did this model in the past in a different version, it's going to show like done already, so that model it's done for that user. And we have even more granularity because we can have this or the same feature for lessons. So if I have lessons that are the same for a different version, I can reuse this. So this is a good thing in order to keep those versions differently. Another thing that's important, we can sell the versions differently. So when we are going to enrolling a user inside Learn49, you can provide different parameters for this. So you can just set, okay, this user is buying this specific version, or this user is buying just the latest version. This user is buying any version, so you can have access to any version, or just the latest one. So this is really a nice thing because we can sell different perspectives. So you can just sell, for example, the version 1 of your course, the version 2 of your course, or all the versions, so you can provide a different experience to your users. This is something that we faced, and it was really hard to deal with at first because we didn't find any tools on the market that does this. So have this ability of organizing the course with different versions and etc. So this is really, really nice. In version, we can have a different usage. So for example, these mechanics here, we are planning to use for other perspectives. So for example, one of the things that we are planning already, instead of creating a new version, we can create a new course and just use the models and lessons from other course. So we can ship a different experience again, so a different learning experience just doing this. So we can have a model with, or we can have a course with 3 models, and we can have another course that reuse, for example, the setup, your local environment for developing, for example. So we can share this model between courses. So it's the same mechanics, but applied in a different scenario. So and we are planning to use this internally. So we are planning to use this inside my own courses. So we can have the content in different lines or learning paths, just using the mechanics here that we have, that is different models and etc. So this is really, really nice to have. So here is it. So this is everything that I planned to cover today. So a little bit about the way the code is going to be stored inside GitHub, the way we are going to design its app or its package there. We are going to add more information next week. So we are going to start adding more things and software there. So we are going to get all the API and etc. and start to push it to the public repo. So it's going to be really nice. And so that's it. We see you next week. And now we are going to switch back to português. Pessoal, seguinte, mais um em inglês aqui só para vocês brincarem um pouquinho mais com a gente. Seguinte, a partir de segunda-feira a gente começa já a botar a mão na massa aqui para resolver alguns problemas reais, tá? Então a gente vai começar a colocar código de verdade, liberar o código-fonte de verdade. Vai ser muito massa, tá? Então espero vocês aqui na segunda-feira. E é isso, tá? Obrigado aqui a todos vocês pela paciência. E lembrando que esse vídeo, né, esses vídeos em inglês, provavelmente vão ser liberados aí no futuro canal do Learn49, tá? Então a ideia é manter tudo lá. Então a gente se vê aí na segunda-feira em português, tá? Então segunda-feira em português. Valeu!